The official APL American teams came out on Monday, and Jermod McCoy is a first-team preseason All-American by the AP. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with him because of his injury. He's not going to start at full strength at the start of the season in less than 2 weeks. But he is still a big deal, okay? And he is still going to have a great chance of having a big impact. However, who will the biggest impact All-American Vols be? Who are not the biggest impact Vols? Who are the Vols likeliest to earn All-American recognition for 2025? That is Hot or Cold. It is brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. Let's get rolling. Not City Heating and Air. It's brought to you by Sports Treasures, carrying over 5 million sports treasures. Let's get rolling now. Hot or Cold. We start with that most notable player and the player on everybody's preseason watch list, pretty much, Jermod McCoy. Jermod McCoy, am I hot on his potential to be an All-American this year? I am wildly hot. I am wildly hot. Even with him missing the first part of the season, I think Jermod McCoy is going to be an elite player. If he plays just a little bit, he'll still make such a splash the rest of the way. I'm very hot on him. Do I think it'll happen? I don't know, but I think it's certainly possible. All right, moving on. What I'm going to do is go down the list of all players on different watch lists for Tennessee, and we're going to play, and then I'll name some of my own, and we'll play hot or cold on whether or not we think they could be on a list. Arian Carter, he's on the Bednarik watch list, Buckus watch list, second team All-SEC, third team All-SEC by Athlon and Media. Yes, wildly hot on him. Wildly hot on Arian Carter. I think he will be an All-American. I'm not just hot on him being an All-American. I think he absolutely will be an All-American. I'd be shocked if he's not an All-American. So with that in mind, yes, Arian Carter. I'm wildly hot on Arian Carter being an All-American. I'm sure he will be. All right, other players on the list. Deshaun Bishop. I'm cold on Deshaun Bishop. I'm sorry. I think Deshaun Bishop, I love the development he's reportedly taken this offseason. He's a hard runner. He's a tough player. But one, he's likely to be a by committee back. And two, I think there's physical limitations for him. So I'm cold on Deshaun Bishop. He is on the Doak Walker watch list and fourth team All-SEC, but I'm cold on him. Bryson Eason. Although he's on the Warfel Trophy watch list, Good Works nominee, third team All-SEC by Athlon. Those are all nice things. You know, he's a community service guy, a great leader. This year's Amari Thomas. I'm cold on him. He's a good, very good rotational defensive tackle. That's as far as he goes, though. Even as a leader of the team, I'm cold on him being a potential All-American. Ricky Gibson III. Once again, cold on Ricky Gibson III. I don't see him being a number one cornerback. I don't see that being a possibility. And with that not being a possibility, I just don't see how anybody could think he's actually going to be an All-American. So I'm cold on Ricky Gibson III. Max Gilbert. Now, this is an interesting one. Gilbert's on the Lou Groza Award watch list. Guys, I think Max Gilbert could be an All-American. For those who don't remember, Max Gilbert hit 3 50-yarders last year. He was 3 of 6 on field goals beyond 50, 4 of 6 and 40 to 49, and borderline automatic within 40 as he was within 40, 13 of 14. He missed one field goal within the 30 to 39 range. But again, you got to be borderline automatic. You can miss one, but it should be like missing an extra point. And that's exactly how Max Gilbert did. By the way, he was perfect on extra points. The issue with Max Gilbert that's going to make things a little difficult this year is Max Gilbert is also dealing with a new long snapper. And long snapping is a huge part of college football. For those who don't know, Justin Tucker's dip in production happened right as the Ravens got rid of Morgan Cox, who is the greatest long snapper in history and played at Tennessee. And also the Titans had the worst kicking for multiple years. And they had different kickers that they tried to fit in there, and none of them were good. And it had to do with the fact that they didn't have a good long snapper. They went and signed Morgan Cox. And right as they signed him, they had the best field goal kicking efficiency over a 3-year period of anybody in the NFL. That's how big of a deal long snapping is. But if they have the right long snapper, yeah, Max Gilbert could easily be an All-American. Don't sleep on that. Lance Hurd. Believe it or not, I'm very hot on him. At left tackle, he came on very strong at the end of the year. He's the one returning offensive lineman for Tennessee. And Joey Aguilar gets rid of the ball so quickly that Lance Hurd's not going to give up a lot of sacks, guys. So he's going to look really, really, really good. He's only fourth team All-SEC Athlon, But no, I'm actually very hot on Lance Hurd potentially being an All-American. Joshua Josephs, who was second-team Athlon All-SEC. I'm cold on him. Joshua Josephs is just a complimentary edge rusher. He can never be a breakout superstar edge rusher. He's a Deshaun Bishop of edge rushers. If he is the main guy, that means Tennessee will have a solid player there, but not a game changer like they had in James Pierce. And I'm not so sure he will be the guy because I think Jordan Ross could be the main guy there. Jackson Moy. I think Jackson Moy at defensive tackle is going to have a breakout year. I am very excited to see what will come of Jackson Moy, but at the same time, I'm cold on Jackson Moy potentially being an All-American, largely because the same with Bryson Eason. Rodney Garner is going to run 6 guys again. Now, I get that David Hobbs being hurt is going to change that a little bit, plus the lost 3 guys from last year. He's still just going to put bodies in there just to put bodies. So I'm actually pretty cold on Jackson Moy potentially being an All-American. And so I think that I think Jackson Moy is a guy that I think just the nature of the position he plays, he can't be an All-American. Star Thomas. Same with Deshaun Bishop, going to be a solid player. I think there's a rotational by committee system going on there. He's on the Doak Walker Award watch list, but no, I don't think he's going to be an All-American. I'm cold on Star Thomas. And then Jackson Ross, the punter. Yes, I'm hot on Jackson Ross, the punter, being a preseason, potentially being an All-American. Tennessee set the curve for rugby-style punters. Jackson Ross is a very, very good punter. By the way, he can be very deadly. Again, the long snapper issue is going to be the thing that stands out, but he was very, very accurate last year, and he can be very accurate again this year. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been the Alabama game. Yeah, it was the Alabama game. Guys, this is it's actually the Florida game too. Tennessee doesn't beat Florida or Alabama without Jackson Ross's punting. He played a huge role in those 2 wins, guys. Go back and look at what he did in those games. That was Dustin Colquitt, South Carolina, and Miami style 03. What he did. If he could carry that for a whole season, yes, he could be an All-American. We're going to talk about some players not on the list. Hot or cold, brought to you by Sports Treasures, carrying over 5 million sports treasures and so much more. Follow on Facebook for the best sports memorabilia. Daily updates, facebook.com/sports treasures T.
Sports Treasures in North Knoxville is one of the South's largest sports cards and memorabilia dealers, featuring over 10 million sports cards from vintage to modern. Sports Treasures carries a full line of hobby boxes, singles, autographed memorabilia, Tennessee Vol collectibles, fan cave decorations, and so much more. See a museum full of collectibles at Sports Treasures, 4819 North Broadway in Fountain City, and Sports Treasures on Facebook. Sports Treasures, where the real sports fan goes to shop.
All right, some notable players not on this list who I think should be or could be. Peyton Lewis. Although he's the best of the running backs, I'm cold on him too because I think all the running backs will be by committee this year, which will make it hard to be an All-American. However, let's move over to receiver. Mike Matthews. Hot. I'm hot on Mike Matthews. Mike Matthews is going to be an elite Mike Matthews will be an All-American receiver by the end of the day. Book it, okay? Braylon Staley, cold on. I just don't think Braylon Staley, he hasn't been healthy, and so also the slot receiver in Tennessee breaks out when there's a go-to wideout who dictates coverage. Tennessee doesn't have a proven one on that this year, meaning they're not going to take Mike Matthews seriously. So Mike Matthews will be the All-American. David Sanders Jr. was brought up as potential freshman All-American. I'm very hot on that at right tackle. David Sanders could be an elite All-American, freshman All-American right tackle. Joey Aguilar. Okay, I'm a little cold on him. I do think the passing offense will be much better than it was last year, but I don't think Joey Aguilar could be an All-American this year. I think that's going to be a little too difficult as the new quarterback at Tennessee. And then finally, you guys asked, and I shall answer, Boo Carter. I'm cold on it. Let me explain why. Boo Carter has more Heisman potential as a two-way player than he has All-American potential because he could be a solid two-way player. However, he's not going to be the best player at his position on either side of the ball. And All-Americans are locked in as positional players. The only way Boo Carter's an All-American is if he's a return specialist. But given the fact that Tennessee is out of punishment, limiting his ability to come back and actually start because he still is not fully working with the first team, I just don't think he's going to have enough of an impact to be able to do it. So no, I'm cold on Boo Carter, even though I think he's an elite player. Miles Kitselman, I am cold on him being an All-American. Could be all SEC, but here's why I'm cold on him being an All-American. One, he's not 100% to start the year. He did have an all-season injury. He's been working with the team. It's not a big injury, but it could make him a little bit rusty. And although Tennessee might use their tight ends a lot more this year because of the lack of depth at receiver, I think Kitsman is going to be splitting time a lot with Ethan Davis and Hassan Bram. So no, I'm cold on Miles Kitsman despite him being on the Mackey Award preseason watch list.